Welcome to this episode of Diaries of a Witchy Creative Life. Let's eat! So to those of you who aren't feeling having some grub together today, this is a chatty video. So please, by all means, if you would like to have a little chat while I eat, if you aren't gonna eat, that's fine too. But yeah, everyone else out there who feels like eating together, let's do this. Our topic today, I might as well take the food out. Our topic today is tarot myths. This food is from Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't typically eat anything from there. I might never have eaten anything from there. I'm vegetarian. I mean, I know that from looking at the menu today, I know that they have quite a few things that I can eat. I was feeling like having some cheese curds today, so that is one of the things I got. I don't have a lot, like this isn't a full meal. It's more like a snack. And dessert, because look at what I got here. New York cheesecake. Oh, and yeah, this is my first time appearing on camera with my new hair. I've been lightening it for weeks. As you've seen, my hair is really dark. Even though I've been dyeing it black, it was pretty close to my natural hair color, which is dark brown, when I started lightening it. So for now, this is what it looks like. I did want to lighten it for the purpose of wearing lighter colors, fun colors. For now, I am leaving it like this and giving it a little break. I'm impressed with the products that we have on the market today. Used to be that if you said you were bleaching your hair, that meant seriously damaging it, and I know that it can still cause damage, but my hair still feels soft and fluffy. So I am gonna start eating. This is the third mukbang video that I've done, and I haven't been doing them weeks in a row, so I'm still not quite used to this. Speaking and eating, I mean, at the same time. Or at least balancing them out, since, yeah, I know, for anyone, it is pretty challenging to speak while you're chewing. Okay, I'm gonna take my first bite. The dipping sauce is Southwestern Ranch. This video almost didn't happen. I was trying this place for the first time, and the timing didn't work out, so I had that for breakfast. And now it's snack time, so for those of you who are coming across my channel for the first time, there are already a lot of tarot videos here. So make sure that you check out, if you're interested, the how-to tarot videos. There's a whole playlist where I put all of those together, and there are also weekly readings, as well as other kinds of readings. Check them out and you'll see. There's a few different ones. There are a lot of myths when it comes to tarot. So those of you, of course, who've been practicing tarot, reading tarot for a while, you may already be familiar with these. But for those of you who are new to tarot, or you're interested in it, but you've heard quite a few things about it that make you hesitant, let's talk. These myths are in no particular order. Well, I did make sure that something that I didn't feel strongly about wasn't the first one that I'm gonna mention. But other than that, nah, no particular order. And the only reason for that, by the way, is just so I don't get like super intense and scare you off. Okay, I'll take a bite and then let's start with the first myth. First myth on the list: First myth on the list, the deck has to be gifted. So if everyone who was interested in learning tarot or reading tarot waited for a deck to be gifted to them, they might never start. Besides, I think that a lot of modern day practitioners started by purchasing their own deck, or bare minimum telling their parents or someone else who would get it for them the decks they've been researching or those that have caught their eye. And absolutely, the story of some tarot practitioners is their deck was a gift from someone special, and that makes their history, their tarot history, sentimental and nostalgic, something that they can look back on fondly. But it doesn't matter. You can go right ahead and buy a deck for yourself. Second myth on the list is you have to be psychic to read tarot. Absolutely not. The cards have meanings and you can use those when you give readings. You don't have to rely on your intuition at all or psychic abilities. But by all means, you can incorporate your psychic abilities into your readings as well if you want to. Myth number 3. Tarot is fortune telling. We are getting to the part where I'm feeling a little strongly about the myths that we're talking about. Not all the rest of them by any means, but this is one of those that I feel a little strongly about because there are so many misconceptions about tarot, and that is part of the reason why I wanted to make a video like this. Sure, there are already many others, but those of you who like watching my videos and those of you who want to hear different people talk about the same subject, well, why not, right? Even if it's the same subject, different people have different perspectives, even if those perspectives are compatible with each other. Or someone says something that the other person did not. While tarot can be used for fortune telling, and the old school way of using it, yes, was mostly for fortune telling, it has a lot of uses beyond that. If you haven't seen the other videos on this channel, those focused on actual readings and not just talking about tarot, you'll see what I mean. And even then, that's just one way, or my personal way of reading. There are many different ways you can use tarot. You can incorporate it into your art, into your self-care practice, journaling. Bottom line is, it isn't just used for divination or predictive purposes. And the reason I kind of feel strongly about that is there is a stigma surrounding tarot, as I'm sure some of you out there are aware of, for superstitious or religious reasons. Some people stay away from it, and I totally get if it isn't someone's cup of tea, but, you know, they're not mad about other people practicing it, especially due to misconceptions. If you aren't into the fortune-telling aspect of it and you do like personal growth work, shadow work, inner awareness work, there's a lot that tarot can help you with. Next tarot myth is tarot is evil/demonic. So, just like the previous myth that we talked about, the belief that tarot is evil or demonic comes from superstition or old religious beliefs. All tarot is really, well, no, I'm not going to say all it is, but tarot is made up of pieces of cardboard with drawings on them. And yes, there are meanings, but it doesn't have any power beyond what you use it for. And so the person using it is the one who's driving the reading or driving whatever session that you're using the cards for, since it isn't just for readings. And can be used for rituals as well, that's true. And I have to admit, when I stumble across videos where people badmouth tarot, I have to say it is because of how it's used and because of the people they encountered who misuse it that it becomes a turn off. And I haven't taken this first bite of cheesecake yet, so let me do that. In any field, in any line of work, in any area, there are fakes, frauds, and just as there are wonderful, magnificent tarot readers, there are also those who are just out there to take people's money. Because one of the reasons why it can be difficult to trust those who use tarot, those who read tarot, is many people have been fooled. There have been many predictions that haven't come true, and there have been many promises that never came to be. And so, for those who don't really know a lot about tarot, they tend to associate it with scams. And don't get me wrong, in this day and age, oh wow, I mean, I think always, but there are a lot of scammers pretending to be certain personalities in the field and then offering readings on social media, but it isn't them. They don't even message anybody to offer readings because people can come to their website. Or these people don't even offer readings. They may give lessons, or they may do readings with people they already work with, but they don't offer them to the general public. So yes, you do have to be careful, you do have to be wary, but reading tarot does not automatically equate to a scammer. Not every tarot reader just tells you what you want to hear, what they think you want to hear. Nuh-uh. And I think when superstition drives someone's belief, like they think the cards are evil, and then they tell stories about how, oh my gosh, I could feel this horrible energy emanating from them, or ever since I acquired this deck of cards, my life just went down the drain. All sorts of horrible stuff started happening. I think that is more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Or who knows, maybe where they got the deck there was some sort of horrible energy, but in and of itself, tarot is not evil or demonic. I'd mentioned it earlier. It's cardboard with drawings on it, and more than anything, it's the person using it who gives energy to the reading. Anyhow, there's a lot more that can be said about that particular myth, about it being evil or demonic, but I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm not here for those who already are fixed in their beliefs. This is for those who are new to it or who have an open mind despite what they've heard that isn't exactly awesome, and they're willing to take a look at what they've gathered so far, the information they have and all that, and decide for themselves. So, next myth. Tarot is a closed practice. A couple of years ago, online, I saw conversations about how you're not supposed to practice tarot unless you belong to a certain group of people. And there are a few that have been mentioned, like, oh, if you're Jewish, you can, or, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into all of that here because all I'm going to say is that isn't true at all. Tarot started as a game. And I could be wrong because so much more about it could be unearthed or revealed as time passes, but it isn't just for a certain group of people. So let's move on to our next myth, which is don't read tarot for yourself. I made a video not too long ago which addresses this, not in super great detail. I did mention it, so you can go ahead and take a look at what was the title of that video again. It's one of my how to read tarot for yourself videos. And just as I said in that video, I think the concern when it comes to that myth is when you're doing a predictive reading, which, as I said, is only one of the uses of tarot. But yeah, for those who do a predictive reading, it's difficult to be objective when it comes to ourselves. So that is understandable why it would be a concern. But I've also heard more along the lines of superstition. You won't be able to see anything that's meant for you, even if you're a good reader. But again, that's more fortune-telling related. If you're using tarot as part of your personal growth work, inner awareness journey, there's absolutely no concern there when it comes to reading for yourself. Our next myth, and we've already touched on this somewhat, is that tarot cards have magic powers. So I'll say it again. Tarot is made up of pieces of cardboard with images on them. And sure, those cards do have meanings and whatnot, but here's the secret. The reader is the one who has the magic within them. The cards respond to you. What you see on the cards is a mirror of the lens that you're looking out through, or what's going on inside of you. That's why it does help to be clearer when, or as clear as you can be, because it's not a guarantee that you can get to a clear mind state before every reading when you read for other people. Because if you're not, you could be sharing with them certain things that you feel really strongly about. Like if you just went through a breakup and then you read for somebody who is going through something similar, it may not even apply to them, but you're seeing all sorts of stuff on the cards that involves a breakup, and you may interpret it in such a way where it's more for you because you're going through that right now. But yeah, before we stray too far from the topic of tarot cards having magic powers, I think of tarot like the Rorschach test. Different people will see different things. Because if you've never heard of the Rorschach test, there's ink blot images that subjects look at, and different people see different things depending on what's going on in their minds or what they're feeling, or depending on their backgrounds even. Point is, we are all influenced by different things. And it is the same with tarot. Different readers, even if they're all good, will see different things on the cards. Even if there will be similarities, because yes, the cards do have a meaning. Those meanings can be stretched in many different directions or interpreted in different ways. Tarot is a tool for us to be able to explore all these feelings that we have within ourselves, or thoughts that we might not address otherwise if we weren't looking at this anchor in front of us. That's why it helps, even for people who consider themselves psychic or intuitive, sometimes to have a deck of cards out, because the reader can look at those cards and get more of an idea of where to start, even if they do incorporate their intuition or psychic abilities into that session. Okay, next myth is, I haven't really been eating, but like I said, it is pretty difficult to eat and converse at the same time. So okay, a bite. But yeah, next myth. Tarot cards have to be stored a certain way. So there's been talk about tarot needing to be stored a certain way, like in a special cloth, meaning you have to take it out of the box it comes in and keep it in a silk cloth or satin cloth, depending on who you hear it from, or sleep with the cards under your pillow, or keep the cards on your windowsill under the moon. And please, if you want to do any of that, do it because it means something to you. Do it because it's part of your personal ritual. But let me reassure you, none of that is necessary for your cards to work or for your ability to read the cards to work. So next myth, and this is our second to the last one. And no, I am not gonna finish my food. I know that a lot of mukbangers eat everything that's in front of them. Whenever I do one of these videos, that is never my goal. It's always simply a let's eat and chat sort of thing. So our second to the last myth, you need to know the card meanings in order to read tarot. I think that you do need to have an understanding of how reading tarot works, at least basically. And you already need to have some sort of system in place, such as, will you use a spread? Or are you going to freely pull cards rather than using a spread? Etc., etc. But other than that, you don't need to memorize the card meanings before you start giving readings. Like I said, it is important to have some sort of system, even if it is loose, and you work within that. And once that you get to the part where you need to interpret each card, you can still take out the guidebook. That's perfectly fine. Or even a tarot meanings book. You don't have to stick with a little white booklet that comes with your deck. Although yeah, a lot of decks these days come with very juicy guidebooks. I love those. And the how-to videos on this channel about tarot, by the way, are very beginner friendly. They include room for taking the guidebook out, even though there is a spread that's being followed, etc., etc. And now we have come to our very last tarot myth, for this video at least, because who knows, I might make another one or mention more myths here and there in different videos as necessary. But yeah, this next myth is there are good cards and bad cards. I'm actually getting full. And I know that I didn't really eat a lot, but I am getting full. I don't normally eat greasy food. It's a rare thing. Or super sweet food. Like, I take bites here and there, but I'm done. So I'm gonna put the fork down and let's talk about that last myth. In many Hollywood movies, tarot has a reputation for being scary. There are certain cards that when they show up, everything is really ominous. For example, the Death card. That's used a lot to scare people. But no, the Death card is not a bad card at all. Of course, it can refer to certain things that the person being read for doesn't want to hear, but it isn't a bad card. And even the so-called positive cards, they have a shadow side. So there's a balance. All the cards in the deck have what would be considered blessings and I wouldn't say curse, absolutely not, because that is feeding the idea that there are bad cards. But yeah, a shadow side. But the point is, don't let yourself be frightened simply because you see something like the Tower, which is this building or structure crashing down, or even something like the Ten of Swords, where someone has swords sticking out of their back. As you get to learn the cards, you will see that there's symbolism there. It doesn't have to be taken literally at all. And more often than not, there's a gift in even what appears to be a difficult card. And we do a lot of that sort of exploration on this channel because the focus here is on shadow work, which, if you've never heard about it before, is about... I can hear my dog barking downstairs. Anyhow, as I was saying, I gotta pick up that train of thought where... Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, if you've never heard of shadow work before, it is diving beneath the surface or taking a look underneath what's obvious to see what we may have dissociated from or what we may have swept under the rug so that we can now accept it, embrace it, or bare minimum begin to find more peace when it comes to that thing. So yeah, if this was interesting for you, if you enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. There are a lot of tarot videos already here, like I mentioned, and I will be back soon for so much more. Until then, take care of yourself. Bye for now. Lots more yummy in my tummy, Diaries of a Witchy Creative Life coming soon.